Let's say you're fresh to Elite. You just came in and like me, back in the day, you crave explosions. You crave the solidified blood and guts of the vast, empty and cold space. You crave to expose your inner psyche that would make your family worry. But with the amount of tools with whom to intensively penetrate, eviscerate, splatter and annihilate some poor soul's prostate, you just don't know what to pick. Well, you're in luck. Dr. Yumix is going over the 5 best weapons in the game. So slap them cheeks, lube it up and prepare for blood. I'm going in! As you look at the list of weapons and then realize that there are different modes to each too, you'd be forgiven to be utterly confused. For most instances, the simplest weapons are always the shittiest and the most confusing and hard to use ones are the best ones. Well, at least in most games. In Elite, well, that's kinda true, but for the most part the middle ground is the sweet spot, and it always comes down to how good the pilot is, rather than what strap-on it carries. So for number 5 here is one instance where it's simple to use with a lot of damage, the beam laser, but not the turreted version. The issue with beam laser's turreted version is like with peeing. Once you start, it never stops until you're out of juices. Due to the fact that turrets constantly shoot as much as possible and have minds of their own, if left alone, like a gold digger wife, you will be broke before you know it, if you don't spank it. So, thanks to fixed version and gimbal being controlled by you can save energy and use it when you need it. Beam laser is mostly popular due to 2 things. Most consistent damage out of the hit scan weapon, when you can pinpoint it, and healing beam effect, which literally breaks the game. Well, okay, there's a thermal conduit too, that boosts the damage the more you are on fire, which turns it into a microwave, but that's a risky build and not really for PvE. I would say that beam lasers are almost the main weapon, but for most folks it's the best supplementary one instead. Oh hey kids, do you want to use the most broken weapon in the game? Well, what am I saying? Of course you do, you smegma-chugging wannabe. Always pick up a missile rack. It's brokalicious. Let me explain. In Elite, if you don't have shields or just lost them, all the damage that enemy inflicts on you partially may be transferred to different internal modules, slowly killing them. In fact, if your power plant is destroyed, that is at 0%, any extra damage that it receives may result in catastrophic self-destruct. Yes, that's right, you can have millions of hull reinforcements and armor and whatnot else, but if power plant goes, well, you might as well call yourself a space shish kebab. As for other modules, if damaged or completely destroyed, they may stop working temporarily or permanently. Now, knowing this, well, smart pilots would always fly with a shield, right? Yes, that is the meta requirements for Elite. However, shields won't last forever. Once they're off in PvP, often people try to snipe modules with railguns. However, missiles, and I speak of target-seeking missiles, inflict incredible amount of damage in a single hit to both external and internal modules. The only difference between small, medium and large missiles is only in how many you have in a magazine and extra ammo. They are so powerful that even a few direct missile hits will most likely destroy, if not several, then for certain at least one of your opponent's weapons. And that's without aiming for them. And knowing this, you can absolutely rape your opponent by using Seeker missiles. They're such an unfair and unbalanced weapon that for many PvP people, they just refuse to fight you if you use them. In fact, even going beyond that, if you pick up the Packhound missiles from one of the power play powers, that's the end game. While normal missiles can be shut down by point defense, Packhounds are deliberately made to counter that. They're so devastating that the only defense against Packhounds is either running away, which 90% of the ships are not able to do, or tanking it. Yes, they're so horrifying that I'm astonished that developers in their infinite wisdom have not addressed this. So, what I recommend is to always carry one bank of missiles, just for that extra fuck you for your soon-to-be Imperial slave. Also, fixed missiles are near useless. Even more so if we speak of enzyme missile. For that though, do check out the companion video for this one, the top 5 worst weapons. Okay, so we got 2 supplementary weapons, but what about the main guns? Well, the number 3 here is my personal favorite, the plasma accelerators. I personally like to think of them as a soft, nice, freshly made eclair. The only version available is fixed, so you have to learn how to use this weapon. That's true. But when you have 3 types of damage in a single, quite easy to use shot, that kinda becomes the second concern, where the primary thought in your skull is, "Whoa, that's a lot of damage!" 20% kinetic, 20% thermal, and 60% absolute. The only weapon that can be engineered with this damage type that ignores all resistances. Well, now that's something. Not only that, but with engineering, you can further break the game by utilizing the target lock break effect, which truly is OP. I talked about it in my best to worst series about this stuff, which you should check out, but it pays to repeat. This effect resets your opponent's targeting once struck with this weapon. So, pray tell, what would be the penalty to incur for such a strong effect? Nothing! What? Plasma accelerators, even though they are power hungry both on the plant and the distributor sides, is much like a massive cannon of pure godlike spunk. Unlike missiles that are easy to use and are horrifyingly devastating when there are no shields, plasma accelerators are simple, honest, skill-based weapon that is perfect for the role of your primary guns, however in some need of engineering beforehand. Let's say you don't have that much skill to be effective with plasma accelerators. Well, gimbaled weapons then should be the best use. Also, non-projectile ones would make hitting things much easier, in which case there is no shame in picking up pulse lasers in gimbaled mode. Very versatile hit scan weapon that is the most efficient of all hit scans. You can make these into shield penetrating rapid fire death machines or laser show like half kinetic monstrosities that don't work, or honest and true main guns with capable damage. Indeed, pulse lasers won't be the fastest killing things out there, but if you can hold on to your target for long enough, or rather survive for long enough, you will come on top. I personally recommend using this weapon for PvE the most, as you have no ammo to worry about and the vast engineering options that only expands the usability. In PvP, as in any game, the biggest chungus, chads and elitists compete with the most damage capable weapons despite the skill requirement for obvious reasons, but don't be discouraged. If you work on dodge! Yeah, that. You can come on top. In fact, most wannabe pros try to fly with fur lances and cutters the most, so picking up a rapid-fire phasing sequence build may be extremely successful, as most of those fucks only think of their shields and not what's underneath it, especially those with cutters. And on top of the pile, like a big, shiny, red cock, obviously is the absolute best weapon in the game, the good old multi-cannons. Think of this as a pulse laser, or vice versa, but it shoots projectiles, and a lot of them, and barely takes any power from the distributor. With engineering, you can make this weapon and your ship into the most versatile thing in the galaxy. And indeed, due to this as well as a great damage, you may choose it as your main source of pew-pews. And here, of course, for maximum, I recommend fixed, not gimbaled version, due to gimbal having less damage overall. Multi-cannons are the baseline item you think of when you consider anything else. Am I killing players? If yes, maybe plasma accelerators if I'm good, if not, multi-cannons. Am I killing NPCs? If yes, then pulse lasers or any other laser. But if I want to kill them faster, multi-cannons. Am I making a stupid build? Yes! Well then, how much DACA do I need? And DACA indeed is what this weapon gives you. Usually a good combination of lasers and multi-cannons are used for the perfect balanced build, and indeed, if you're looking to kit out a ship, maybe learn how to shoot better and improve your combat game, well, multi-cannons are perfect. Also, just like a beam laser, even more so here, don't ever use a turreted version. Don't be like Bob. Bob's a piece of shit. And on that cheery note, this is the list. Sure, it's my list, but let's be frank. Be you in camp, laser, multi-cannon or plasma accelerator, we can all agree that normal cannons suck dick and need a buff somewhere. Oh, and also that all 3 weapons are candidates for the main guns. Also that missiles are true space cancer. Other than that, do share your own list down below, and hey, maybe share the video and all that good stuff too. Links like Patreon down below. It's great. As for now, it's time to pick some DACA and DACA all the way to the top. For the DACA Lords! Got this. Okay, this is cool. Okay, this is cool.